Hey, what's up, guys? It's Foster from Inglês no Estuda. I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. So, first, a quick word about Cambly. Again, I just want to give you a suggestion, which is go to our Instagram, Inglês no Estuda. I know everyone has Instagram. Go to Instagram and watch the video of Alexia's dad using Cambly. Alexia's dad is a beginner and he had a real conversation with a real native speaker, and it was not scary. He was not ashamed, and he said it was one of the most fun things he has done in a long time, and now he is going to start doing them almost every day. So, if Alexia's 73-year-old dad, who is a beginner, can use Cambly, you can also use Cambly. Just go to Cambly.com or download the Cambly app on your iPhone or Android and use the promotional code Inglês no Estuda to get your first class for free. Free English classes, no credit card, nothing to be worried about. Just do it. Go to Cambly, speak to real people. Okay, on with the show. Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando o Inglês no Rádio. I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Foster from Inglês no Estuda. This is another solo episode. So I just returned to the US after a long flight from driving to Malaga, Spain, then going from Malaga to Lisboa or Lisbon, then staying in Lisbon for about 4 hours, and then going from Lisbon to Miami, staying in Miami for about 4 or 5 hours, and then going from Miami to Atlanta, where my car is, and I'm staying at one of my friend's house for the night. And then later today, I will drive another 4 hours to my house. So, needless to say, I am extremely tired, and maybe I will say some crazy things in this episode, but that is just something we will have to deal with. Anyways, Alexia is still traveling in Portugal with her dad. I am very jealous of her. So for the next few episodes, it will just be me. I'm very sorry. But in a few episodes, Alexia will be back in action, back on the show. But it is probably a good thing that is just going to be me, because this week or today and a little bit next week, I'm going to continue talking about this article, 6 Reasons Why Brazilians Do Not Speak English. And I imagine it is probably very difficult for Alexia to say bad things about Brazilians. And really, it is also very difficult for me to say bad things about Brazilians, because honestly, I love Brazil, and the reason I love Brazil is because I love Brazilians. But in all honesty, I am not talking about Brazilians specifically. I am talking about the Brazilian educational system. So please do not judge. Please do not be offended with the episodes, because really the point of these episodes is not to criticize the educational system in Brazil, but, education is a really difficult thing to find funding for. It is something that most countries, including the United States, have a lot of difficulties with. So really the point of these episodes is to think about the problems that exist in the Brazilian education system, and to think about what they are and how we can provide solutions to them, and how we can think about better ways to improve the state of English teaching in Brazil. So, without further ado, let's get started with the first point from the article, which is almost everyone in Brazil studies English, but no one speaks it properly. I think this is a very good point. So first, let's take a look at some facts. The article says 57 million students attend the primary and secondary educational system in Brazil. Because of this, Brazil has one of the largest numbers of non native English students in the world. So just stop for a moment and think about this because it is crazy to think about. Brazil has one of the largest numbers of non native English students in the world. The phrase non native English students does not mean people that speak English as a second language, but people that are simply studying English as a second language. That is a very important distinction to make. And I think one of the most important things to talk about here is the reason that the level of English in Brazil is so low is not a lack of resources. So think about it. In Brazil, there are more than 70 private companies that exclusively teach English, according to the article, and another 6,000 affiliate companies. That means companies that work with these principal main companies. So think about all of the private businesses that teach English in Brazil. A few of them are Cultura Inglesa, WhatsApp, Wizard, Berlitz, Britannia, Senac. So these are just a few companies off the top of my head that I can think about right now, but I am positive that there are so many more private companies that teach English in Brazil, and apparently they are not doing a very good job. So just with the digital market of English private schools in Brazil, that is more than a $4 billion industry. Billion with a B. And I'm positive if you include physical schools like traditional English schools where you go to class, that number is much, much bigger. So it's definitely not a lack of resources. But let's think about another very important fact. Only 5%, yes, only 5% of the Brazilian population speaks English fluently to a professional level. So, just to be clear, this does not mean that people speak perfectly. It's not like they speak exactly like a native speaker, but they speak well enough to work in an English speaking environment proficiently. And the really bad, depressing thing is, at least for me here, is the level of English speaking and the level of English teaching and education in Brazil is getting worse. According to the English Proficiency Index, Brazil went down 12 spots from 2017 to 2018. So, the English Proficiency Index is a huge survey from the company Education First that measures all of the English teaching and statistics in the world. So, last year, Brazil was ranked number 41 out of 88 countries measured. And this year, it was ranked number 53 out of the 88 countries that were measured in this survey. So the trend is not moving in the right direction. So we know that there is a big problem that almost everyone studies English in public schools, and then a really, really big percentage of the population spends even more money and even more time studying in private schools, but still only 5% of the population. That means only 5 out of every 100 people are really reaching their goal, their objective, which is to speak English fluently, I imagine. So, in the next few episodes, I will keep addressing the points in this article and try to give some explanations and hopefully some solutions about how we can make the English situation improve, make it better in Brazil. But today, I really just wanted to define what I think the problem is. So, I know that's a little depressing for a Friday, but that's it for today. Have a great weekend. I will spend this weekend resting and thinking about how we can improve the educational system in Brazil, especially in regards to English. Okay, I will talk to you guys on Monday. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to another episode of Inglês no Rádio. If you like what we do, if you want to support the show, here's what you can do. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Android, wherever you listen to the podcast. It really helps other people discover the show. And you can sign up for our VIP newsletter. So each time we release new courses early discounts for Sound School, new worksheets, special discounts. The people on our newsletter are the first to know. So if you are interested in the things we are doing, go to inglesnuecru.com and sign up. And as always, keep up the good fight and lose well. Até já.